Hello everyone, welcome back to my Lua tutorial series. We're absolute beginners. Today we're going to be discussing a concept called loops. Now loops basically allow us to repeat certain pieces of code several times in a row, which is very useful in programming because we often want to do that. And the two types of loops that we're going to be discussing are while loops and for loops. So now let's start with while loops. Alright, so some simple example here. I'm just in my VS Code in my file called hello.lua, and I have my terminal open. So I'm going to start out, I'm going to make a variable called countdown. I'm going to set countdown equal to 10. And then I'm going to go and say, while countdown is greater than 0, do. And then in here I'm going to put a print statement. I'm going to say, countdown, and then here I'm going to say countdown equals countdown minus 1, and then here I'm going to print blast off. Alright, so basically this is how this whole loop works. So we start off with a variable countdown at a value of 10, and we say while countdown is greater than 0, we want to do whatever is in this here, from this do statement to this end statement. And in here basically we say we want to print the current value of countdown, and we want to subtract 1 from countdown. And then basically once that's done, it'll check again, is countdown greater than 0? If it is, it'll execute this code again, and then it'll check again, is countdown greater than 0? And it'll execute it again, and as you can see, it loops around until countdown is finally equal to 0 in this case. And then at the end here it should print blast off. So just imagine this is some kind of rocket launch that we're coding here. So now let's type Lua, hello.lua into our terminal. Again, if you need to open a terminal, go here, terminal, new terminal, and hit enter. And as you can see here, it has printed countdown, and we start at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, etc. until we get to 1, and then blast off. So that's a very, very simple example of a while loop in Lua. And we can sort of do another thing. We can combine some of the knowledge from the previous episodes today into what we're learning now. So, for example, if I take this and I say, let's make a simple guessing game. So, let's say, guess underscore number. We'll set that equal to nil for now. So whenever we set a variable equal to nil, that means that we set it to have basically no current value. And we'll create a number, we'll call it a secret number. And we'll set the secret number equal to, let's say, 15. And we'll say while guess number is not equal to secret number, and this symbol here, this means does not equal to in Lua. So whenever you see this, think does not equal. And we'll say do, and we'll say, for example, we'll say print guess number from 1 to 15, and then we're going to store the guess. We'll say guess number equals IO to number. So this to number is something that we'll discuss later. It's a function, and we'll discuss functions in a later episode. But what it does is it basically allows us to take something and turn it into a number. So in this case, we'll take the user input, which is a string, io.read, and then we'll say if guess number is less than secret number, do, and we will print guess again. So that's what we're going to print, is we're just going to print guess again if the guess number is less than the secret number, and we'll maybe say it's a bit too low, and else if guess number, or sorry, we shouldn't put do here, we should put then, yes, else if guess number is greater than secret number, then we'll say print guess again, it's a bit too high, and otherwise we will say you guessed the right number, and we'll maybe say congrats, you guessed the right number. Okay, so I think that should be everything. Yeah, so it looks like that should be everything, and now we're just going to save it. I'm going to hit Control S, clear out my terminal here, and I'm going to hit Lua, hello.lua, and hit enter, and I'm going to guess my numbers, let's be 10, guess again, it's a bit too low. What if I guess 19? Well, then it says guess again, it's a bit too high, and 15, and it will say congrats, you guessed the right number. And that's a very, very simple kind of program that demonstrates to you how you can combine while statements or while loops and if statements together to make a kind of guessing game. Yeah, so that's it basically.